Oh, let's go, baby. What? Let's get these dubs.
Friday night, feeling right?
Undefeated on the road on this road trip, baby. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Winners Lounge.
Let's go.
Oh, my goodness. Nuggets get the dub. 2 in a row on the road, 3 in a row overall. 122-117 over the tiny Brooklyn Nets.
Not even people drive me nuts.
Not even tiny kings. Tiny losers.
Tiny losers. They're not even short. They're just scrawny.
Yeah, which is even worse. You know what I mean?
Worse, man.
Dude, nothing worse you could be.
Thin people got no reason to live.
Jokic and Murray, peanut butter and jelly. Many people are saying Peyton Watson does some interesting stuff. Aaron Gordon, the most clutch free throw shooter I've ever witnessed with my own eyes.
Listen, man.
Some good stuff to talk about to help me out. I got Brendan Vogt.
Man, the year Jamal Murray starts now. Where's Harrison Wind? Where is he? Where is he?
This is like when Jokic gets going on like January 9th, but we just use January or December 15th or whatever.
Or when Vogt misses one game and Mike drops 35 and locks Luka up. Yeah.
You must have only missed one game because I don't remember any of this happening for Mike. Over here, I got D-Line Go.
That's right, guys. Jokic touched one horse, and his aggression changed. The trajectory of the Nuggets changed.
So true.
It's all over, dude. It's all over.
Can I be honest? Are we certain he touched a horse when he went to Yonkers?
Yeah, there's no way he made it that far and didn't touch a horse.
I think there's a chance he didn't touch the horse.
There's no way he didn't touch a horse.
You think
at least a horse?
Dude, he went through the stable. He touched multiple horses.
He gave a horse a carrot at least.
Oh yeah,
they eat carrots, right?
He nuzzled a horse, dude. He probably kissed a horse.
Who are we kidding? He kissed him.
You guys, let's fast break down this game here real quick. My first note, you know how it always tells the story of the game?
Yeah,
always. Michael Porter Jr. on fire!
That's the only time it doesn't tell the full story.
Michael Porter Jr. on fire, D-Line. He's making everything.
It's the only time he doesn't tell
They're
the
probably
full
going to feed him all night.
Give Mike the rock.
That's the last time he's mentioned in this specific report.
I will say it was sick, though.
It was
Come on, dude.
I think he had the first 8 points.
And 2 assists in 9 minutes. Swing the rock, Mike.
Nuggets were rolling, ball was popping. I was like, oh, man, the Nuggets are back. We're winning every game by 20. What could possibly go wrong? The Nets went on like a 12-0 run immediately after that. They started making their threes. And then DeAndre Jordan enters the game for Jokic instead of Zeke DJ, so he can guard all their tiny players. Very strange, very strange. 28-28 at the end of the first quarter. All that big lead, I think it was like 11 points that Denver built immediately, all gone. Second half, Peyton made another 3. This one was like a little sped up. Some of the last threes have been like wide open, catch his breath, shoot him. This one was almost 4. When he shot it, I was kind of like, what are you doing? And he drained it. So 4 games in a row, Peyton Watson has made a 3. The Nets were just hot, man. They were draining jump spot shots. Sometimes they're a three-point shooting team. They made like 4 or 5 in a row, and that was the story of the second quarter. Starters back in, immediate 6-0 run, a little bit back and forth, and the Nets take a lead at half, 58-60. Third quarter, Aaron Gordon making free throws. I made this note on Twitter, but he has 25 of his last 30 spanning 6 games. That's meaningful. Remember when we were talking about AG?
Very meaningful, dude.
Is he like back? Is his head back in? I honestly think free throw shooting is so much about focus. It's so much about that. He's starting to make them. Nuggets getting no stops, though, in this third quarter. Murray started to percolate, though. He got it going. Dare we say 16 points in the quarter? An official Murray flurry in that third quarter. Corner 3 for Murray put Denver up 5. Murray stays in. Jokic comes out. Very apt. I think Malone was just riding the hot hand. And he put Zeke DJ in. 1 play. And then Murray was tired and asked to come out. Yeah, I think Malone's like, you know what? You have it going. Yoke, you come to the bench. Murray, stay. Murray's like, bro, I'm too tired. I got to come back out.
Good point, but I haven't played a ton.
And it turned out to actually kind of hurt because the Nuggets started to collapse. 88-86 Nuggets going into the fourth. Strother missed 2 wide open threes. Honestly, this game would have been over with both of those. Would have been over with 2 of them. It would have been like, all right, comfortable and in control. He missed both of them.
What was more wide open, those threes or his eyebrow?
So maybe, I honestly think the threes. The eyebrow was a small cut. It was barely open. You could barely see the flesh
they did
under
glue
there.
it shut.
They did have to glue it shut, but I mean, your face bleeds.
I got my head stapled back together once. I was like, I feel like that's the wrong option.
I honestly thought Zeke DJ was okay. I thought he was okay.
fine.
I thought he was fine. I thought he was okay.
Hot take.
Until the last play. The last play where for some reason he jumps right into, and you could even argue through, Cam Thomas for an and one three-pointer. Literally the only thing you could do wrong in that moment was foul a jump shooter. And he didn't like, oh man, you got him on the wrist, Like he just ran through him in a way that was like, best case scenario, he misses the three and you fouled him for 3 free throws. We're going to talk about it, but man, that play just ruined my whole Zeke takes, that I wanted to have for tonight. It was that bad. It was a 4-point play, and it allowed them back into it. So, Jokic back in, 96-98 Nets. Jokic hits a three. Jokic to Murray. Then they go to the two-man game with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left, and it was a gorgeous two-man game down the stretch, you guys. Jokic had, you know what Murray's so good at? Drives to the rim. Yeah, drives to the rim, and it looks like he's laying it up and then throws it back. Like he waits to the last second and then gets Jokic a wide open layup. It was a dime. Then there was a take foul, but Murray missed the free throw. Damn it. KCP, who had not really scored all night, hit a huge kick-out three-pointer.
That was wild.
Big-time shot for a guy that kind of not been shooting. And then Dinwiddie hit a tough sidestep three to cut it to one. I kept thinking the game was over, and things kept happening. Then Murray hit a step-back two. Then Bridges got an and one on a Jokic foul that I thought was not a foul, and Malone should have challenged it. He elected to save his timeout instead, and Bridges missed the free throw. Good call, Michael Malone. Murray hit a floater. Nuggets up 3, 54 seconds left. And then Michael Malone did something we thought he wasn't going to do. He subbed out Michael Porter for Peyton Watson to go a little defense offense. And what do you know? They get a stop, but then you have to go down and play the offensive end.
Yeah, it turned out that it was offense-defense, but reversed.
Reversed. And what does Peyton Watson do? Drive to the rim and gets an and one dunk.
Dominant offensive play from Peyton Watson.
Missed the free throw. So Nuggets up 5. And then, what did Zeke DJ do that was so dumb? Foul a jump shooter. Peyton Watson said, hold my beer. And he runs right over Cam Thomas for a 4-point play. Nuggets only up 1. Murray goes to the foul line. Murray makes one, misses the second, and gets an offensive rebound. That was about to be...
Dude.
So the Nuggets, I don't know what it is, 14 seconds left, up 1. Murray makes it, goes up 2. You think, all right, if you go up 3, worst you're going to do is tie, go to overtime. Murray missed it, and I was like, we're going to lose. They're going to hit a three-pointer. That's how this game ends. It's like, we never lose by
broken. 1. We're the current champions.
And then Murray grabs the offensive rebound on the play, hits 2 more. Cam Johnson gets fouled. He makes 1. He intentionally missed the second, but AG grabbed the board. And then to ice the game, AG said, you know what? I'll make 2 more free throws. And there you go. Also in this game, Jokic became the franchise leader in rebounds. We'll talk about that in a bit, but start us off with your big takeaway.
Listen, man. Murray and Jokic, peanut butter jelly, they have returned. We are AJ. We are after Jokic. Jokic came into contact with one equine, horse,
could be
donkey, Shetland pony. It doesn't matter what it is.
It could be anything.
And then he immediately starts looking for a shot again. Not too much, just the right amount. Jokic played the perfect game, the perfect Jokic game. It was just, this was a really great game. This was a very entertaining game. And there were just like so many great plays. The Nuggets played, like so many players had good games, but the defense was terrible.
The defense was not good tonight from the Nuggets. I like it though. Murray and Jokic return.
Murray and Jokic shoot, and after Jokic, how could Jokic become more Christ-like? He could bleed. He'd just be cut.
He does have stigmata. Let's keep it real.
Straight up
clearly has stigmata.
This was, I would say, probably a top 5 bloodiest Jokic game.
It was.
It might be number 1.
No, number 1 is the headband. The headband where he was bleeding like crazy.
This was straight up Passion of the Yoke, dude.
Passion of the Yoke.
I do believe he's getting hacked a lot, but also, how fair is your skin, dude? What's going on?
But he gets... Listen.
I'm not denying he gets
felled
hacked.
by an axe every game.
Look at the screen here.
My
God, some of these are deep, dude.
We don't see this on other centers.
Deep cut.
I'm just surprised. I'm not saying he's not.
I think there's a little bit of truth to both sides of this, but I don't know, man.
He's getting
skin
scratched.
Isn't that different, is it?
I know that's
not different.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I'm not I'm just blown away. Like, how different could it be? He bleeds every night.
I am now
because everyone
curious.
just punches him in the arm.
Do we have a dermatologist in the chat?
Yeah,
All is there like levels of cut? Like, if you did the same cut to everyone, is everybody the same?
Yeah, because like just a little friction and Yoke starts.
There's some people that alligator skin.
Let's make a TikTok where we just scratch each other and see
how much
who gets scratched more or less.
That'd be
Who's more
good.
like Jokic, less
I would
like
be
Jokic.
so honored if I was the most scratched.
I would happily be scarred for life for a TikTok.
Are
Dude,
you
we
kidding
should
me?
make this. Who scratches the easiest?
Who's most like Jokic?
What about you? B-Rad?
Yeah, I think this is a very podcast take. I apologize. It is a pod, though. So we do this a lot. But if you're looking for the Jamal Murray in Portland kind of moment, I think this is it.
Really?
Jamal Murray scored 32 points
great,
tonight on
dude.
11 of 19, 4 of 6 from 3. It's a
He was
season
great,
high
man.
on the year for Jamal.
9 assists.
9 assists. And then, what did he have? 16 in the third? 18 in the third? I forget what he finished with.
Yeah, 14, I thought.
I mean, Yoke is back to the consistent, stable greatness. So I don't.
Dude,
These takes almost
Visit's
always
one stable.
These takes almost always overlook him, and I'm not trying to do that. But in many ways, Jamal delivered this win tonight, and I just think that if you look at their last 6-7 games, the way they've been sort of coming back to form, the way things have been falling back into place. Wynn said it a couple shows ago, but when Jamal Murray's playing like this, it's a different team. And tonight, this was the best it's been all year. It's a nice reminder that, this team is deep. This team has the best player in the world. But this team also has 2 great players and probably the best 2-man game in the league, even still right now. And it was just good to see Jamal back. And I think from this point forward, I wouldn't be surprised if this is an inflection point in the season.
Oh, dude, we're about to go on a monster run.
They kind of are on one sneakily already.
If they didn't blow that one game in the
Right.
last 3 minutes
Exactly.
against the Thunder,
Yeah.
this would be their 7th in a row.
They are now, I believe, 12-4 with Murray in the lineup, which is really good. Their losses coming at Minnesota. Remember, that was a tough one. And then they lost those 2 games when he first came back to the Clippers and to Houston. So I'm not saying you throw those out, but at least you could argue that was after a long break, right? So
I agree.
Really, they're starting to roll with him. And then obviously the Oklahoma City game. They're starting to roll with him. And here's my thing, man. I'm with you about my big takeaway is Jokic Murray. Like, your floor when those 2 guys are active and in the lineup, your floor is just so
NBA
high.
championship.
Because that's your ceiling probably.
Is
Is that your floor? I hope that's the
That'd be
floor.
pretty sick.
It's like it's impossible
Pretty
not
sick.
to win a title actually when this happens. But Murray, my take has been all year has been Murray has shown signs of increased playmaking and just like more confidence and comfort scoring in the ways that he does. But it's disguised by the fact that he hasn't been healthy and he's been in and out.
Yeah.
Tonight was a game where, for a regular season game, 90th percentile for Murray.
Beautiful.
It wasn't like an all-timer. It wasn't spectacular where he's going off or this or that. But as far as anything sub that, it was dominant. He got what he wanted, and then he did it in the clutch. Like in the clutch, it's like when the pressure went up, he and Yoke made it look really easy. Well, they made it look really hard for anyone else, but easy for them. And I mean, I'm so hopeful that the Nuggets really are at the start of this big run because Yoke and Murray. Yoke's almost always the best player on the court. Murray and Yoke together sometimes are the 2 best. Like tonight, we're the 2 best players on the court.
Exactly.
And that's why you win.
Dude, it opens everything up. It opens everything up for the rest of the Nuggets. When those 2 are playing well, just everybody else plays well because there's not the same level of pressure on everyone else to perform. It's so comforting, I have to imagine, for the rest of the Denver Nuggets to know in their heart, like, whatever happens, we have Jokic and Murray down the stretch. Murray, dude, that's exactly right. It was not just that he was scoring and that he was playing well. Murray was so clutch tonight. He hit big shots. Right when they needed them. Big threes. And that's exactly what you want out of this guy. That's exactly what we know that we get. And, it's always the thing about Jamal Murray. It's like, well, can he be an 82-game player? He's only a playoff player. It's like that's what, like, it wasn't as loud and as dramatic as the playoff performances, but, like, that's Jokic and Murray. Like, that's what you get. That's the championship right there. Those guys, man.
I have a note on Yoke while we're doing the 2 of them, if that's all right. I think in his last 4 games, he finished 2 of 2 from deep tonight. I think in his last 4 games, Jokic is 6 of 10 from 3. There's 1 0 of 1 game there against Dallas where he wasn't shooting much because they were kicking their ass. but he looks a lot more comfortable. Again, I don't need to see Jokic shoot 7-8 threes a game or whatever.
Right.
But there are moments, man, and he's a better shooter than we've seen this year, particularly in the playoffs.
So good.
And listen, sometimes the two-man game when Jamal gets so hot, it is Jokic wide open popping for three.
Right.
You got to feel confident and comfortable with those, and I think maybe small sample size, but Jokic looks a lot better from distance lately, and that's a good sign, obviously.
I'm just so hopeful that Murray can be more consistent than ever. I'm not sure. To be a true superstar, you really are good every single night. I mean, LeBron does not have bad games. Jokic, other than those two that he had this year that were so jarring because they happened. But typically speaking, he doesn't have bad games. Like the great players don't have bad ones. Murray still has bad ones. But it's been a weird year with him coming back from injury. I'm just so hopeful. Like when you see tonight, again, a lot of times when Murray in the past would have 32, it's because he was cooking something fierce. Tonight, they were just like he was comfortably scoring the ways he wants to, and it's just different. And so I'm so hopeful that...
Dude, it's on.
It's disguised. It's all disguised how good Jamal Murray is ready to be from the rest of the year.
You see that tweet from Peyton Watson? Altitude has it up right now. Didn't mean to scare y'all like that, Nuggets Nation. Great team win.
It was a brain fart, man, from P-Watt. But Jokic and Murray, again, they combined for 63 points and 16 assists. My final take before we can take our first break on the show, but my final take is, once again, Denver goes for 29 assists, which is a little lower than I would have guessed. I kind of felt like the ball was popping for a little bit. 29 assists, D-line 6 turnovers. This is the sneaky thing about the Nuggets and where they've leveled up. They just don't turn the ball over like they have in years past. Knock on wood. They protect the basketball. And Brooklyn doesn't force a lot of turnovers. Some of this is just stylistic. But I really do think it's a subtle sign of maturity from the Nuggets from years past in that taking care of the ball just is easier for them.
It's maturity in that they are more, they just know each other more and more. The more games you play together, you know what to expect out of the guy next to you on your left and your right. Like, you know where you can, if you're not freelancing as much. Like, they just have so much cohesion. They're getting better. I mean, man, I'm so bullish on this Nuggets squad. Like, they're really, really just about to take off. They're gonna, like, I would surmise that in a month they'll be in first place.
Really?
In the West, yes.
Are you not buying Minnesota?
No, I'm just ultra buying the Nuggets.
Because I think, are they 4 losses back or something?
I just think I legitimately, looking at the schedule.
Right, that's a big
I
part
was
of it.
like, there's 14 winnable games in a row. 14 winnable games in a row. Had they not dropped the one against the Thunder, I would have been like, there were 18 winnable games in a row.
Right.
It's really until next month where they face the 76ers that the first time that you, like, in looking at it, you're like, I mean, they have a cakewalk coming up.
Yeah. I mean, nothing's a cakewalk in the NBA, but to your point, relative to what they've been doing, it definitely is a soft part of their schedule.
And it's not a slight on Minnesota like you framed it. I just think it might be where you see
it's
some
like
of that
like
ground.
Minnesota's going to go, they're going to lose 2 out of 10, and the Nuggets are going to lose 0 out of 10. And there's 2 blocks of 10 like that. And it's like
there'll only be 2 games caught up out of 4.
But I'm saying there's 2 blocks of that.
I see.
That's math, Adam. Can't argue with that.
Man, he is doing double
It's
math on
multiplication.
that.
Picking up what you're putting down, Eric.
Let's take our first break. On the other side, I want to talk about Jokic becoming the franchise leader in rebounds because it's just another notch in the belt. He's now 2 of the 3 main categories, number 1 in Nuggets franchise history.
Are we ready to say he's the best Nugget ever?
I'm not ready to do that. There's been a lot of guys.
Right, dude.
Gallinari.
Not with Scott Hastings still walking.
Mutombo.
Not with Scott Hastings still walking.
How about you guys respect history? How about that? Grow up. Grow up. You know what I respect? DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Right now, they're giving new customers an exclusive offer. Just for NBA fans, this week, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Plus, score an NBA League Pass subscription on them for the rest of the season. That's neat. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now. Use code DNVR. New customers, $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting $5 plus score an NBA League Pass on DraftKings. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. With code DNVR, don't forget that part. The crown is yours. Please do gamble responsibly. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 777-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. League Pass reward is issued as a promo code to redeem subscription. Must be claimed by January 15th, 2024. See DraftKings.com/promos for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Dude, Denver's hottest new club, DNVR.
Ray, can you do me a favor, dude, while I switch reads? I haven't had one of your cookies yet. Will you get me one? Thanks, dude. Charmed life we live up here, you know what I mean?
Just barking orders for cookies off camera.
And he's doing it, too. Adam, what did you point out about this? The days are going to start getting longer again, right?
Bro, solstice time. We are post-solstice.
I'm not the brightest, I'm not the sharpest tool in the drawer. That has something to do with light in the sun. Is that correct? Is there going to be more of that? Is there going to be more of that?
What are we scientists?
So sunny
Man,
lately.
buckle up, Shady Rays. You're going to have orders. Thank you so much. You're the best, Ray. You're going to have orders coming. You won't even know what to do. Listen, Shady Rays is my favorite ways to shop for sunglasses. I like to look good, but I like to feel good and feel comfortable about the purchase. Sometimes I think I look good. I try them on, and a close friend lets me know I do not. That's why I love Shady Rays. If you don't like them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal this season. Go to shadyrays.com, use code DNVR for 50, half off. 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourselves. The Shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people.
I like that right as you called Ray. Like, this could be Shady Ray. Delivering a package of cookies over here as Ray. King of the chat, Ray.
This is sweet baby Ray.
Yeah.
Sweet baby Ray. Ladies and gentlemen, in Denver Nuggets franchise history, Nikola Jokic continues. What's going on here?
Vogt just orders cookies.
What kind of cookies we working with here?
They're really good, right?
What are they?
These are Christmas. Are these M&Ms? Salted caramel?
Dude, salted caramel is one of my favorite
Really good.
flavors.
I just
I'm
love
not
the
going to
idea.
lie to you guys. I love my life.
I know. I just love the idea. It's like we cannot. Me too. Can't wait. Just can't wait to have cookies until the
You're
show's
like,
over.
Adam, you talk for a minute. We got to eat our cookies. Nikola Jokic climbs up to be the franchise leader in rebounds, passing Dan Issel, the horse. Jokic passes the horse.
horseman.
The first horseman. Actually, it's true. Dan Issel
Holy
bought a bunch
smokes.
of horses from Kentucky. He bought a bunch of horses after he played basketball.
I didn't even think about that. He leaped over the horse.
He leaped over the. He did, man. He passed him. But Dan Issel and Jokic both being fans of horses, I just feel like that's really strange that both guys would be really into horses. But he passes him.
Should they change their name to the Denver Horsemen?
I know,
should.
there's something about that, right?
Jokic now is number 1 in rebounds, number 1 in assists, number 5. I'm sorry. Where does points go? How is this so hard to follow?
Is he
number 4 in points?
Is he a bucket though? Because I watched Carmelo in that 2009.
Well, I'm telling you, he's gonna have he's number 5 in steals, and that one's within striking range depending on how long he plays. He is number 5 in free throws. He's number 5 in threes. He is number 5 in twos, number 5 in games, number 4 in minutes played, number 1 in PER, number 1 in all of the advanced metrics. Yoke really does have a chance. I mean, the points is the hardest one because he is still, my God, 8,000 behind Alex English. He's at 12,796. That one's going to require him playing like quite a while.
Or him deciding to shoot every now and again.
Or him deciding to score a lot more than he does. But nonetheless, there really is a chance that Yoke will lead the franchise in points, rebounds, assists. Already rebounds and assists, man. I just feel like it's almost slept on. We just take for granted that Yoke's going to be at the top of all of these, but it's kind of cool that he passed Dan Issel, who played for the Nuggets for 4 decades.
I think some of the taking it for granted part is that, Yoke's this second-round pick, pound for pound, almost certainly the greatest draft pick ever, and it was a slow start, right? A lot of these guys are playing a ton of games right out of the gate, and so these kind of things sneak up on us because I think we almost resigned ourselves to, well, when it comes to the longevity stuff, maybe Yoke won't get there. We're just going to have to tell people about his peak. Except for the fact that his peak is so damn good that he actually is sneaking into these conversations. And it's really appropriate, with great respect to the many Nuggets legends I've learned about and met. Jokes aside, like, what a sweet gig we have. So cool to meet so many of the influential and legendary Nuggets figures. Jokic is, of course, the best Nugget we've ever seen. And it's appropriate for him to hold these landmarks, these records. He deserves to. Sky's the limit. And as much as you're right about the points thing, I won't write it off until he retires.
I know.
Because he's Yoke.
I mean, I so want it.
Me too, man.
You know what I mean? Like, he deserves to have that record. And honestly, it's going to be so hard to for anybody to pass those numbers because it's so rare for a player to stay in one franchise for that long. But what do you make of it? That at the practice court, by the way, they have the leaderboard for every stat there, and it is going to be cool one day to walk in. I'm sure it's like what it is at Chicago, where you walk into the facility and you're like, "Oh, so Jordan has every record."
Exactly.
It's going to be that way with Jokic one day.
No, that's exactly right. I was just thinking that, like, just the name Nikola Jokic is going to echo in the halls of Denver Nuggets forever. That he's going to be synonymous with the Denver Nuggets.
Right.
He is the Denver Nuggets. It's like, and it's funny because if you're really into stats, you can sort of, I feel like people that get really super into stats sometimes lose the connection to the actual game. Stats, generally speaking, it's like the eye test tells you very obviously that Nikola Jokic is the best player I've ever seen in my entire life. He does things that don't even make sense. I believe he is capable of everything. He's already showed us that. But then when the stats also tell that story, it's like, it just becomes unimpeachable. It's just like, what are you going to say? Like, this guy is everything to the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets, I mean, people are going to forget they were a team before Nikola Jokic. He's just like that monumental. We talk about being in the golden era, and it's just, we're so blessed to be in the presence of this guy. Like, I hope he never retires. He just like,
me too.
I just can't.
I hope they get that anti-aging thing and Jokic just plays forever.
Bro, like, I don't even,
50 years he plays.
I don't care how he gets it. Like, I like the blood of an infant. I don't care. I don't care. I'll spawn an infant. I don't, whatever. I don't care, dude. We can't never.
I don't want to sacrifice your child on your behalf. I'll create one.
Yeah, dude. Like,
put it up to the
care.
altar.
It's just, I mean, I can't imagine having more love for an athlete than I have for Nikola Jokic. We're so lucky.
Yeah, we really are. You might recall that last year he passed Dan Issel for franchise leader in NBA rebounds.
Right.
But because this ABA NBA thing, like it's always confusing what the records are. But now he passed Dan Issel in franchise history, not NBA history, franchise, including the ABA days. So there you go. Jokic sits atop. Let's get back into this game, though. The next guy I want to talk about is Peyton Watson, just because I find him so fascinating. He was a minus 14 tonight, so it wasn't good because the bench was not good. But 4 of 5, including a 3, goes for 9 points, 3 rebounds. Not necessarily a game to write home about like the previous ones have, but he still remains to me a guy that I just get so excited watching. He does something that I'm like, man, that pops.
I mean, even tonight, he did technically lead the bench in scoring, and he's 4 of 5 from the field.
That's wild.
So this is, to Dev's point last show, would we call this 6 straight games where you'd say Peyton made a positive impact, even if you don't see it in the plus minus?
Right.
You could probably feel relative to other bench players. Yes, he did, right? He helped the Denver Nuggets. And I wrote this recently in the grades. Not too long ago, we were talking about development and words like project. Still apt. But, man, development be damned. He's producing right now. And forget, do you bring the effort consistently? Right now, he's producing consistently. I like the rate at which he's gotten more aggressive. He didn't get ahead of himself. He didn't start taking a bunch of shots he shouldn't take. But when he's feeling confident and he has a look, he looks more confident than ever.
I actually think the one he missed was one he shouldn't have took. It was a 3, if you remember it. It was a little,
right,
like he had just hit one, and I think he was feeling it a little too much, where it's like, Peyton,
but for the most part, I think he's pushing buttons and pulling levers at the right time.
Yeah.
So, and even those last minutes where he hits the big shot, then he misses the free throw and he commits the foul.
Oh my God, that was horrible.
But you know what, man? You win the game, you get out of there, and when you win, you get to call it a learning moment, a teaching moment, right?
Yeah.
Peyton is getting these minutes that, honestly, even some of us probably would not have expected him to get to close games in the fourth quarter. He'll learn from them. And so, you know, I'm really impressed by Peyton. This guy is a competitor. He's a smart player. He has not shied away from any challenge. And I think tonight, even though it's not his best game recently, it's a continuation of him showing that he's ready to contribute off the bench right now.
Okay, dude. The major point for me is that Michael Malone's turning to him in like the clutch, in like the last, the legitimate clutch, like the last couple minutes of a game, the biggest minutes of the game. Peyton Watson, he's turning to him, which is
really wild.
It's unbelievable. He's considering that his 5 starters just won the NBA championship, and he feels comfortable bringing Peyton Watson in. Like, and again, like it kind of worked, kind of didn't work this game, but
I mean, it worked in that they got to stop and got to score.
They got to stop. They got to score. He did whatever he did. But
Right.
point being, nobody else on this team has athleticism like Peyton Watson, which is like why it's so exciting to watch him. He's just
Right.
like everything he does is noticeable. He's so like he's just got so much energy. I mean, this would be his sophomore season in college, like
Junior season, but yeah.
he's just I don't know, man.
And it's 5 straight games now with a 3.
He's so ahead. He's so far ahead of schedule. It's like he should be buried on the bench. Like he should be in the G League maybe. Like if he was some other player, but like the faith that Michael Malone has in him, and you can just see the raw talent. But like all it takes is confidence, and he's just getting it more and more. The shot is what is most at this point like the most inspirational.
Dude, it's 5 straight games now he has a 3, and obviously them going in is the most crucial development in the meantime. But talking long term, I don't think you need to be a shot doctor to see he looks more comfortable taking it, and that's huge.
Yeah, his shot looked weird early on.
Right, clunky, awkward.
Not
almost
smooth.
like halfway through it, he wasn't sure if he should shoot it. There's a smoothness D-line and a decisiveness to it right now.
It's amazing.
That you can already see just these few minutes he's gotten have taken him that far. And I think it was Harrison who made the point. I don't know if Watson's actually, a knockdown shooter, if he ever will be. But he will be wide open at times in playoffs, and he's a good enough player that he'll be playing. And like Jeff Green, can he hit 2 of them, 3 of them that matter enough?
Yo, he's like we've said this all the time, but like the conversation coming into the season was like, oh my God, the Nuggets lost Bruce Brown. The Nuggets lost Bruce Brown. That's their stalwart on the bench. That's the guy that they can look to when times get tough. He plays tough. He can score when it matters. Like,
maybe, yeah. Maybe he's just there. I mean, that's what Calvin Booth said, right? In that piece with Kevin O'Connor, that where he was talking a little loose, he said something like, I think Peyton is better than Bruce Brown right now. I think he's already better. So you're saying that might not be so crazy.
I don't think that he's better than him right now, but I think by season's end, lest we forget, like Bruce Brown did not have a great regular season last season. So probably in those terms, like they're probably kind of trending in the same direction, but you're already getting a guy that you feel comfortable with in big minutes in December.
Right.
Like,
that being said, though, we hated last game when they subbed Mike out offense, defense. And tonight it worked.
Kind of.
But it worked. But did it bother you as much tonight?
It always bothers me a little bit, just because I think, particularly on nights where, like, was Mike's energy poor? No. I thought he was defending well. He hit those shots. I didn't think he was but when it's Peyton, I don't mind it because of what those minutes kind of do for him long term.
If it was like Justin Holiday, you'd be like, what are we doing?
What are we doing, man?
Right.
With
Peyton, that's a big nod, though, to say that you're all right with it because of who it is. Like
it's like Bruce Brown, man. And as much as, and let me be very clear, if Porter was a complete and healthy player, that he fully reached his potential and he never had those surgeries, like we shouldn't be having this conversation. He should close every game. But in the world that we live in, where that's the conversation we have. Last year, it was a feature of the roster, not a bug, but a feature that you could choose to play Bruce instead of Mike. I feel the same way about Peyton. It's a feature of the roster. If you'd like to close with an insanely tall knockdown shooter, go for it. If you'd like to close with a really insanely good defender, go for it. That's tough for Mike, but it's a feature of the roster. So I don't hate it for Peyton as much as I would for Justin, to your point.
And I will say, one of Peyton's one of the things about Peyton that encourages me is he does play off Yoke really well. He had the Michael Porter flare and slip that I love, and he really has figured that one out. Like, he's got a little, not a ton, I don't want to overstate it, but he does have a little things that he knows when the offense arrives at a point. He's like, oh, this is the thing where I do where I get a layup out of it. So he's been going to those, and I'm very encouraged by it. All right, let's take another break, because while he was good, the bench itself was not, and we need to talk about why. Including a Zeke Naji, DeAndre Jordan conversation.
Dude, we love those.
We love them.
What a convo, dude.
Well,
what
we'll
a
make
convo.
it fun.
Oh.
The next time you see the Denver Nuggets at home, you're going to want to see them in Ball Arena. Yeah, they've dropped a couple, but let's be honest, over the years, it's a fortress there. They're the best show in Denver, and you can get the best seats to the best show in Denver at the last second with the Game Time app. That's what I love about Game Time is sometimes sporting events are not just it's awesome when you're in the family days and your dad gets them for the family way in advance and you're all excited. That's dope. But then you hit your 20s and your 30s and sometimes it's just, wait, hang on a second. The Nuggets are in town. What are we doing tonight?
Dude.
No plans. Nuggets with the fellas?
That was my biggest revelation is becoming an adult. I was like, you don't have to like
Plan.
Yeah, you don't have to like take out a loan
No.
or like plan 2 years ahead of time to go to watch the Denver Nuggets play. You can just go.
You know what else you could do is just like you're sitting here going like, oh, you know, I forgot to get a Christmas present for, you know, so and so. Hop on Game Time, buy a little ticket. There you go. Transfer them over.
Or hop on Game Time and buy my Denver Broncos tickets. They're available.
That's
Are
why
they?
Game Time is so dope. So download the Game Time app right now, create an account, and we also have a code for you folks. Use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. We appreciate you so much for watching this show. We want you to save money with our ad partners. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. You guys know that this read is always a slog for me. It's so
boy.
tough. It is so tough to pretend to like kind love. You know what I mean?
Dude. Good. Let us know. Let me know. Give me a wink if you need help.
Oh my God. If I had to go to a dispensary,
Wink, wink,
I
wink.
might choose Kind Love, not just because they've been around since 2010, the original marijuana boom here in Denver, but because we also know that they cultivate the highest quality products. They have a full, extensive menu that you'd come to expect from any dispensary, except as well, they have their own innovations and technology, like the Turbo Core and their Turbo Joints. Check them out. Use code DNVR to get 25% off in-store. A lot of dispensaries out there, a lot of neighborhood discounts. You're not going to find them better than 25% off. So even if they're not in their neighborhood, Kind Love is worth the trip. Dude, check them out. Use code DNVR. Save some money.
Dude, stuff a stocking with some immaculate vibes.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like that would, you're like, they're like a walnut, a kumquat, whatever, like you're
Right.
You
old
got a
time
kumquat
Wait,
in
hang
here?
on.
Wait,
Yeah,
hold
let's
on.
unpack that.
orange.
Let's
like,
unpack that.
Eric was a pilgrim. That's how old he is.
Yeah, hang
Like,
on.
his first Christmas was
A
actually.
kumquat?
an old shoe.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
A
my
musket.
gosh, look at this, a musket. I've been wanting
Some
one of these.
gardening tools. Immaculate vibes from Kind Love.
Hell, a pre-roll. This is incredible. Is it indica? Sweet. Guys, tonight in 6 minutes, DeAndre Jordan put up 2 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, 0 turnovers, and was a -9.
It was
6
a good,
minutes.
It was a nice homecoming.
It was a nice homecoming for him. In 7 minutes, Zeke DJ put up 2 points, 3 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, and was also a -9.
okay.
They each played. Zeke played 7, DeAndre played 6. The bench got outscored by 9 points both times. 18 points. You give up without Jokic on the court. Thank God Jokic was a +29 tonight, but which is hilarious. I'll say this. I am firmly of the opinion that DeAndre Jordan is not a guy that should be playing right now. Like, Zeke is maddening, and I think he is maddening in the ways that Michael Malone most hates. Like, that foul, guys, it doesn't piss anyone off more than it pisses me off. I hate that crap. I hate when a player does something so dumb it costs you 4 points. But Zeke DJ, to me, is by far the better option for the rest of the bench for what they do. I just hate that you only get a half out of him, and that when he goes out there, he ruins it all. By the way, he would have been he's a -9, a -5, not that bad, you know, like, all right, whatever.
Dude,
and then he just like, oh, I'm getting subbed out. I should just bull rush this dude at the 3-point line and tackle him.
This is the perfect example, this game, of what makes the Zeke conversation so thorny. There are important, I think, clarifications and concessions you
He's
have
the hardest guy
that
because you need
have
to put all the
make.
caveats out
and,
there.
And let me just, and I'm not trying to be a hater, but I want to preface this correctly.
That sounds like somebody's trying
There's
to be a
about to
hater.
be some really
Hang
good
on.
hate.
Big old hater
In a
take.
vacuum, take your drinks.
All right, we're in a
In a
vacuum.
vacuum.
Take your drinks in a
Okay.
vacuum.
In the
So far.
nadir.
Is Zeke a good NBA player? I would say no so far.
Yeah, I don't.
In a vacuum, is he a good NBA player? I would say no.
Can anyone play in a
As
vacuum?
a fourth-year, first-round pick, relative to some of the guys who were taken when he was taken, does he have a lot of value in the league?
Well, some of the guys that were taken around him are not in the league anymore. So again,
okay,
that's
true,
like,
but
sure.
some of them are Desmond Bain. All right, here's my point.
Some of them are Desmond Bain.
Here's my point.
At least one of them
does
is.
he have a lot of value relative to when he was drafted? Not really.
No.
But those conversations, I concede these things, right? I concede these things, but we've learned these things already. The next question is, does he provide any value to the Denver Nuggets at all? I think the answer to that question is yes. It's not a ton, but tonight was a good example. And it's tough because they're the non-Jokic minutes, and they both finished -9, and both of them left a sour taste in our mouth. But I'm with Adam that what he does defensively is by far the preferable look. It doesn't mean he's playing well. It doesn't mean I think he's a great player. That doesn't mean I think he was a great draft pick. But this is the roster they have now.
Yeah.
And I think the bench's best bet at sustainable and replicable success is defending at a high level. And I think that Zeke fits into that more than DeAndre does.
To me, there's no question about it. And let me just say this real quick. Statistically, they have the same net rating, minus 13. They're both bad. Like, they've both been bad.
That's what I'm saying.
DeAndre has a signature game, which I think like sticks in everybody's mind.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But here's the thing to think about on twofold. One, you're financially committed to Zeke. You need to look. You better hope one that his trade value goes up or that he becomes a piece of this. And two, you are not going to play DeAndre Jordan in the playoffs and win. You are not going to do it. That is not a thing that is going to happen.
No, you're going to play Aaron Gordon.
You probably will, honestly. But if Aaron Gordon is in foul trouble and you're going to have to go to some other minutes, to me, Zeke, it's almost like Peyton Watson, where it's as long as you can survive. And early on, look, he got pulled. I think it was right that he got pulled from the rotation for a little bit because he was that bad that he was costing you games. But I do think that there's this thing of like, yeah, but we need to give ourselves the best chance to win this thing again. And the best chance is probably that Zeke is available to play 1 or 2 games a series for 7 minutes just to be able to spell our main players
play
that need to give it a
for 5 minutes.
This whole conversation to me says they need to find another option. They need to find another solution at backup 5.
You have no faith that Zeke can do. I mean, Zeke did everything right tonight besides bull rush a 3-point shooter.
I mean, mine is not they're just
half of the minus came in that one play.
That's the point, though.
You think he'll just always have one play?
I don't know. I'm not.
He guards
I'm
well.
not particularly out on him. I'm not particularly out on DeAndre Jordan. I think it makes sense. There are times when you have to play DeAndre Jordan because you play just big behemoths that Zeke can't keep up with at all. But more than anything, it's just the biggest hole in the roster. The backup 5 is just the biggest, most massive, gaping hole in the roster. And it's funny because, on the starting unit, you have the greatest center to ever play for the Denver Nuggets. And then the drop-off is so bad. It's so precipitous when he leaves the court. And it's a story that goes on every night. There's one way or the other. It's frustrating. I don't know what the answer is.
All right, I'm gonna make a proclamation. I hate to. Standing Zeke sucks. It's really tough to be a guy that's like.
I'm not standing. I'm like.
No,
I'm
you're
not
right,
out on
though.
Zeke, but it's
you don't have faith. He hasn't earned it.
Right, you don't have to sugarcoat it. He hasn't been good.
Yeah, he hasn't earned it.
I mean, the only sugarcoating I'll do is with these delicious.
They're so good, Ray.
Here's my bold prediction. I think Zeke is going to be a net neutral player for 15 games at some point. 15 consecutive games at some point this season.
That's so funny. That's like the pie in the sky is that he's just.
But I mean, that's fair for a team that spends $100 million on their starting lineup. For your bench to be able to be net neutral, because again, I do think that. Look again, Julian Strawther wide open threes back to back. He hits those and they win those minutes, not lose them. It's some of this is a little disguised, but I think they defend really well when he's out there. They have the opportunity to, and he needs a little of all the players. Michael Malone, we all called for Peyton Watson to get benched. Michael Malone didn't, and the exact game we called for Holiday to start, we're like, maybe P. Watt needs 2 or 3 games on the bench. That exact game we all said that, Peyton started his ascent. Michael Malone clearly believes in him going into him in the clutch. Christian Brown, Michael Malone clearly believes in him. He doesn't believe in Zeke Naji for good reason. But I do think there is something to, Zeke seems especially fragile in his
That's what you want out of your backup.
It's so true. He has so many qualities that are what are we doing?
Get him out there in the playoffs. He's so fragile. I agree with you.
What are some words you do? Slight, timid.
You know who was really bad off the bench tonight was Reggie Jackson. 4 of 13, and honestly, this has more to do with it than anything. Of that bench, I think can defend really well, but they're not. Right. None of them are none of these iterations are good scoring. Reggie needs to be better. He was 4 of 13 tonight. He was pretty terrible.
Yes. Of course, you're right. All's well that ends well in a win. I think Reggie's earned a pass, but you're right with examining this game. I'm not saying that you're not. I'm not saying that you're all of a sudden hating, by the way. I'm just, thankfully in a win, it's much easier to say he's been nailed so many times. He wasn't tonight. Hope he gets it together.
Sure, but I get it. If he wasn't this bad, both DeAndre and Zeke look better tonight.
No, I agree with you. I don't mean to dismiss your point at all.
And I don't think it was anything those guys did that made his life particularly difficult.
No, and part of it, if DeAndre is out there, Reggie and DeAndre need to be so good together that it's worth it. And part of it tonight that didn't work out for DeAndre is that Reggie wasn't very good.
Right.
You can say the same thing about Zeke, by the way. You kind of just pointed it out. Like, he did his thing in terms of defending, and then Strother doesn't hit his open threes, and now it's a -9.
Right.
I think both of these guys, it's a precarious position, and it doesn't take much for those minutes to look terrible for either guy. And we're just going to hate them because they're the non-Jokic minutes. But for each of them respectively, when DeAndre's out there, if Reggie's playing well enough, you can make it worth it. If Zeke's out there and everyone's defending at a high enough level, you can make it worth it. If neither of those things are happening, you're just going, when does Jokic come back in? Please, God, any second.
I'm saying, man, like if we are looking to the bench to be defensive at its core, let's get a defensive center. Let's get basketball Paul. Let's get Paul Reed. Let's get a player of that. Let's get Nick Claxton. I mean, whatever. Like guys that are quick on their feet, but also are.
But how do you get that?
I think you probably have to package like Hunter Tyson and Zeke Naji.
You think you can get that? Well, first of all,
that shoots too high. I'm just saying a player in that ilk. I would have to look. I'm just saying, like, I think that they just need a more stout defensive player on the bench in that 5 spot, and they have to figure it out. Like, I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe the Nuggets are so stacked and they're so deep.
How long can we give Zeke? Like, when is the official? Because to me, the official turning
point.
What do we
have? 3 years?
No, that's good. That was good. Zeke's had good runs though. Remember, we liked him for a moment there. I think that it is January 31st. Because the trade deadline is a couple weeks after that. I mean, in theory, all the way to the trade deadline. You're not going to trade him, but you might, to your point, trade for someone else or add someone or waive or do this or that. So to me, it's the end of January. I just think the Nuggets have to commit the next 35 days to Zeke Naji to be like, we got to know, because after the All-Star break, we're done experimenting.
I would love to talk about the bench and have it not be centered around the backup 5.
Except I will say this, right? There's also last year they went out and they got a seemingly decent, affordable big, and he looked terrible in Thomas Bryant. And Isaiah Hartenstein, who hasn't looked,
was that last year?
I think has shown flashes of utility in the NBA since, but it didn't work out in Denver. Some of this is
get your Vail McGee.
Think with the way the roster is constructed, like you're gonna have to pour a lot of resources, whether that means money or trades or both, into getting a great backup. Like we might just have to resign ourselves to, like, when Jokic isn't on the floor, it sucks. But let's not forget that last year, this was the case for like 90% of the season. And the playoffs started, and they just went to AG, and that worked.
Which is more or less what's going to happen.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's going to happen for sure. It's just in the meantime, when you have a daily podcast talking about the Denver Nuggets, you have to look at the bench, and you just have to. I would love to talk about, like, hey, Christian Brown hasn't been as impactful.
Well, one of the things about Christian Brown, that guy is a charge waiting to happen, and he got away with one tonight. But I will say, it's the scariest part is his offense has really not. It might have gotten worse from last year. We kept thinking it was going to get better. It might have gotten worse, and every time he puts the ball on the floor, I just feel a charge coming.
He plays a little out. He's like really downhill. Like, he just kind of goes for it. His role has changed since last year. Like,
that's part of it.
He was closer to the 6th man last year. Like, now he's like the 8th man.
It's kind of weird, huh?
It is kind of weird. And I'm not concerned about it, but it is a little. It's notable. Like, Christian Brown does not look as impactful as he did last year, and it's. A lot of it is probably just the position he's put in, the minutes he's given, the backup 5. I don't know. It's just like
playing at 5.
I think some of it, dude, is last year Christian was asked to do 2-3 things, and this year there's a little bit of exploration, including those handful of games when he was playing backup point guard / half backup point guard, which is not his game. You can see lately it's important to him to get that 3-point shot up. I think what we're seeing right now is a lower floor at the expense of Christian experimenting with what it means to spread his wings and expand his skill set. To your point, he might not be one of those guys, right? Part of what made him a can't-fail guy was just doing those 2-3 things at a high level. Without wanting to sound like I'm turning on him, because I'm not.
No, not at all.
But honest, man, a real observation I've had in the last couple of weeks, it's been a minute since Christian Brown really stood out on defense. Now, he can still avoid mistakes. He can still be in the right spot. He's always playing hard. But he also used to be a playmaker, a highlight maker on defense.
Steals.
And I almost feel like with some of the focus gone to how do I work in this group offensively, we've maybe seen a bit of a fall off, at least compared to Peyton, for example. Like, how elite are you defensively? You know, I haven't had that note on Christian in a minute.
I will say the leader in defensive rating on the Nuggets, Jalen Pickett. He hasn't played enough minutes.
Is it Christian after that?
Second up, Peyton Watson. Third, Christian Brown. So,
and I'm not saying he's bad. I know. Last year it was his bread. It was the thing.
It's not impacts, though. It's not like steals and blocks and much of that.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
All right, let's take a break on the other side where we're going to wrap up with this game and maybe do a little around the association. But I do want to talk about Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter, and KCP, who we didn't really talk about.
Yeah. That's my cue, right?
For cookies?
You're right up.
Another cookie cue?
This is usually when I do the reads, right?
No.
All right, guys, here's what you need to know. Breckenridge Distillery is dope. Why? Well, you know about Breckenridge Brewery. All that stuff is dope. So are their fine spirits. I really, really, really like the Breckenridge bourbon. I've gotten to try it at this bar many a times, including tonight.
Yeah,
Cheers.
Quote unquote, try it.
Try it.
Good barkeep.
Yeah,
Might I try?
I'll try it.
I'll try it.
It's delicious. It's smooth. It does not need a mixer. It doesn't need an ice cube, in my opinion. That's how you know it's a good bourbon. But however you drink it, whatever you're drinking, if it's a spirit, why not get them from Breckenridge Brewery? They know how to make fine quality alcohol, and you can always enjoy Breck's fine spirits and brews at the DNVR Bar here on the corner of York and Colfax. They're so Colorado. We're Colorado.
Dude,
what a treat.
I haven't started my shopping yet. No joke. I'm definitely going to buy some Breckenridge bourbon for any adult man in my life that needs to get a present.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
That needs to get a present.
Oh, all right. I missed that part.
And adult.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
There's a second read, isn't there? Oh, my goodness
you
gracious.
You are off your game tonight, homie.
I feel like in between the breaks, I've been good.
I'm going to put this on Ray, dude. You're all cookied up over there.
It's the cookie. Oh, this is easy, though. Now I just talk about Breck Brew. Did you like the spirits? Weren't they delicious? Now you try the beers. Here's what's awesome about Breck Brew. They've got a beer for every occasion. You don't need to drink on every occasion, but you sure could if you wanted to. Are the Avs playing? They want a cup of
Sounds like an occasion to me.
Yeah, that's an occasion for the Avalanche Chambereau. Are the defending NBA champion Denver Nuggets Oh, they just won, didn't they? I could use a Mile High City. Oh, the Broncos are still in playoff contention? Fire up a Broncos Country Pale Ale.
Was traffic a little bit more challenging than you expected? What an occasion.
Have you not had fun in a while? Check out the Fun Slinger. You get the idea.
Do you not know how to talk to others?
Dude, that was a phenomenal read.
Thanks so much, man.
You came through.
So good.
It's KCP hitting that 3 after sucking for 4 quarters.
That's what that was. Speaking of which, he goes 1 of 6 tonight. But listen to the stat sheet, you guys. 3 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. A little bit of everything from KCP other than shot making. He did go 1 of 6, and that one really big. Arguably the biggest shot of the game.
That's all you need, man. You got Jokic and Murray. You need other guys to have one shining moment in a game, and that's enough.
Yeah. Well, he provided that one. Michael Porter's the guy I want to talk about. 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 5, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He looked like he was on fire.
He was.
Well, he was on fire, and it just looked like, okay, we're going to have a little Mike night. And I swear to God, I don't remember him touching the ball after that.
Nope.
I actually want to credit Mike. Aren't you guys shocked?
Oh, what?
So Mike scores those 8 points, and then they do find him a couple times, and he's open on the wing, but there are some good closeouts. He picks up a couple quick assists by making the extra pass. KCP, Jamal. Now, KCP missed a couple.
He had 3 assists tonight. Not bad.
I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to be annoying. Mike was moving the rock, and they were good passes, and they were actually, as much as I wanted him to just fire some up, I actually thought after hitting the 8 points they needed out of the gate, Mike looked around, said, let me play the right way. And you know who ended up being really hot tonight to close out the game? Jamal Murray. So while I sure wish this was a 30-point game for Mike, I actually appreciated the way Mike was hot out of the gate and then said, you know what? I'm reading the room. This is going to be Jokic and Jamal. I'll keep the ball moving. And I made my contribution. So I don't, like, only 15 points, but I'm giving Mike like a B plus tonight.
3 assists for him. 7th time this year he's had 3 or more assists. Last year, D-line, just 4 times all year.
Man, this is the Mike. This is like what you want from Michael Porter Jr. Like tonight, the Nuggets played like almost exactly how you want the Nuggets to play. Like you have save the defense and the bench, but right. The starter, obviously KCP, you want a little bit more out of, but again, like comes up big at the big moment. Michael Porter Jr. comes out hot out of the gate, and then at a certain point, like everything just like finds its right place. And yeah, you're right. Like Michael Porter Jr., man, he's been on the board so much this year. Like that's when I notice him doing way more than I've ever noticed him before. Is like he's just fighting for rebounds and he's using his length. He is so much more of a utility player than I ever imagined he would be. I mean, I really only anticipated him just being a shooter and like really nothing else.
Right.
And it's just, like the perfect compliment. He's the third, the fourth, depending on the night, best player for the Denver Nuggets. It's perfect. It's like exactly what you need out of him, and it's great. Good to see.
It's really good to see. And then Aaron Gordon, I thought kind of a normal.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hang on though. 8 of 9 from the free throw line.
8 of 9. Man, this is big. 25 of 30 in the last 6 games.
He definitely wouldn't allow himself to go to sleep in his gym until he hit 50 free throws in a row, and I love it.
Yeah. So it's kind of encouraging to see AG playing. Well, I'm telling you, the Nuggets really are just, they go as AG goes, and he's back. So the Nuggets are back.
Dude,
AG
he's so
I
back.
think AG is kind of like the drummer of this band sometimes.
He's so bad.
And when the rest
He is the drummer
when the
of
rest
this
of the
band.
band looks
Hold on.
confident and he's off,
Pum, dude.
there were a couple of weeks where the rest of the band looked competent and the drummer was off. And we're like, what the hell
Yeah,
is going
sounds
on
like
here?
shit.
And now he's back
All
on
right.
beat.
All right,
he
hold up.
caught the rhythm.
Jokic
Let's
is-
give the band. What's the band here?
Jokic is lead guitarist and lead vocals.
Yeah, he's fun.
I think he writes the song, most of the songs.
He writes
too.
the song. He's lead guitarist.
Jamal
lead
might be
vocal.
guitarist. Jamal might be guitarist.
I think Jamal might be the vocal. You don't think he's the singer?
I don't. Jokic is just everything. He's just like the whole band. He's like a one-man band, and then the Nuggets are like come up to help him out. No, let me see. Yeah, okay. So I could see Jamal.
I want to hear it. Let's hear it.
I think
KCP's the bassist.
Yes, that's a
That's
great take.
rhythm,
That's
it's
a great
it's like
take.
foundational.
Mike's the assorted percussionist. He just hits the Bible in front
yeah,
of the
Mike
mic every now
plays
and
the
then.
cowbell.
Yeah. Ding, ding. And I love him, but he is the cowbell player. Really good. And when the cowbell's hitting,
Dude,
best band on earth.
when you-
Best band on
When the
earth.
cowbell
But some
is
nights you
hitting.
just need more cowbell. I mean,
I gotta have one cowbell.
I think I would
Yeah,
say
I'm
he's.
just kidding.
I'd
I'm
say
just
he's
kidding.
the pianist.
Excuse me, what?
He's the pianist. There's a lot of
Dude,
songs.
what
Zeke
I was
moved
about
the
to say,
luggage.
dude, how
Yeah.
rough for Zeke. He's
not
not even
even
the
luggage
pianist. He's not even the pianist on the squad, dude. That's rough.
He's just looking at the mic over there.
It's like, but you don't even know how to play.
There's
man.
a lot of songs where the piano not really featured on the track. It's really, this is more of a rock song, but there are, when you get to that ballad and the lights go low, boom.
I
He
think
busts out.
Josiah Moore's got this. Jamal's lead guitar, Mike is synth keyboard, KCP is bass.
Yep.
So what's Jokic? Just the lead singer and the
Songwriter, composer, face
Yeah,
of the
lead
band.
singer, all those things.
Yeah, all
man.
those things, man.
I kind of like it. You want to keep going here?
I think it's a great take. And just so you guys know,
Photoshop. As Alec Wood,
I already
Alec
wrote
Wood
this in the
Photoshop.
grades, and it felt good off the fingertips. Make sure you're checking those out after every game. They're free.
You already wrote the band?
I already wrote that AG was the drummer and that he stuck out like
Oh,
a,
yeah,
like
yeah,
an
that's a
offbeat
bar.
drummer.
That's a
Yeah,
bar.
that's all right.
At Charlotte
Sorry.
tomorrow, by the way, to wrap up this road trip. The Nuggets have 6 of the next 7 at home after that, including 4 in a row, starting with Christmas Day. But a chance to go 3-0 on the road trip, man, is big. You can't take it for granted. Charlotte is not going to lay down and die, but at the same time,
They might.
They are the weakest of the team. They're rested. You know, Denver's coming in with travel on a back-to-back. I mean, they were just in Canada. Then they were in Yonkers. Now they have to go all the way down
Miles
to Charlotte.
Bridges is extra
I was gonna say, hopefully they don't play in Canada.
He couldn't play in that game, right?
All right, they don't want to talk about it. Let's go to Super Chats.
Super chats. Josh Barnett from down under, shrimp
Oh,
on the
good day,
barbie.
mate.
That's
Good day.
good, right? That's
Is
how
it
they sound?
already Christmas down there?
Oh, that's probably, yeah. If I do the math right, just about. Fire up the bloody backometer. The year of Jamal
bacometer.
Murray has begun. The bacometer, I apologize.
So unbelievably back.
He's
Murray is so
unbelievable.
back,
He
man.
broke the goddamn bacometer.
Oh, man.
Mullet. In honor of Jokic passing the horse in career rebounds, we need to give Jokic a horse-related nickname.
Let's just call him Joker. Okay, next.
The Horseman. He's just the Horseman.
The Horseman, yeah, dude.
Ben Mack, did you all see the meatheads on CHGO shouting "Suck it, Lakers"? It was glorious.
No, we gotta watch that.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
They are some glorious meatheads at CHGO, though, aren't they?
They probably said that. They probably called themselves that.
I love those guys. Diz, Heat, Nuggets, Microwave. I logged into DNVR's YouTube account to watch history. Was nothing but WNBA cringe videos. What's up with that? I have no idea what you mean. I don't think we have a single WNBA. There's not even a WNBA team in Denver. So
Let's unpack. What is he talking about?
yeah. Respectfully, brothers, stick to the microwave thing. It's a huge hit. It's a huge hit. 55555 ish. Statistically, it might not show, but the bench this year seems a little better than last year. It's definitely more fun to watch, in my opinion.
I agree. Honestly, man, I like these two guys. We talked about them. They're annoying, but we're good. But stick with it. There's so many promising signs.
There's just one gaping hole on that bench.
One really gaper there.
Jesus.
Real gaper.
I don't like the combination of gaper while ATA is in the super chat, but
You're terrible.
Jeremy J. Rock Michael, Joker Terriot, and the Shetland Murray.
These things write themselves. The Joker Terriot and the Shetland Murray. We were all thinking it, but he put it.
Yeah, he put it out there.
It was just on the tip of my tongue. And the boy's dad.
The boy's dad.
ATA sponsor. Shatters, get your grievances, Lakers, Embiid. Is it Dagger, etc. Ready for Festivus tomorrow.
Man, we do have to air our grievances. Let's go to a quick ATA here, Kale. Let's go to a quick ATA.
All right, what do we got?
The Rockets beat the Mavericks. Do you guys know the Mavericks had nobody healthy tonight?
Well, I just looked at the score, and that seems right.
Let me see. They played Markieff Morris and Grant Williams and Tim Hardaway, Derek Jones Jr., and Jaden Hardy. Then they had Greg Brown III.
Jesus.
Oh, he's a
Rashawn Holmes, Nugget killer. He was a +10 tonight.
Can we get Rashawn
Omax
Holmes?
Prosper and AJ Lawson.
That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Oh, they had another guy, Dexter Dennis. Dexter Dennis, if I would have told you, they would have been like, come on, dude.
Dexter Dennis.
Yeah,
That sounds like you're a healthcare professional.
Yeah.
Heat get the win over the Atlanta Hawks. Tyler Hero went off.
Are the Heat just going to win the East again? Like, what's going on?
Bro, 76ers Heat on Christmas. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Really
I kind of like it. The Heat, I will say this.
Heat 76ers?
Where
What
you
is
can
this, my
see Jimmy
microwave?
Butler and Joel Embiid shoot a combined 79 free throws.
Oh, my God.
It's so true. They're actually,
Dude.
Jimmy's a sneaky.
he's the worst.
In the regular
actually.
season, he's
They're
a
like,
whole-
the NBA's like, how can we ruin everyone's Christmas?
Yeah.
It's so true. Speaking of the worst, the 76ers get a win over the Toronto Raptors. Remember when we played them? 76ers play them at home. And Embiid struggled in this first half, but fortunately was boosted by Tobias Harris, who had 28 at halftime.
Jesus.
He was going off. Tyrese Maxey went off. This is the first time in 60 years that three teammates have scored 30 points. Tobias Harris, 33. Joel Embiid, 31. Tyrese Maxey, 33. At least I think I saw that on the timeline. I might be wrong on that. They might have just made that stat up, but I think it's true. And they beat the Toronto Raptors. A couple other games here. The Warriors are up by 4 against the Wizards. This is who Denver plays, by the way. They play the Warriors. The Warriors have won 3 in a row. They lose Draymond. We write their season off 3-0. And now they're playing the Wizards. Jordan Poole makes his return to Oracle, and Draymond's not there to see it. Kind of funny, right?
I mean, kind of.
Isn't it kind of funny that it's like, oh, he's suspended for fighting? Yeah, seems right.
Sure.
All right. The Warriors 47-44. I will say, man, this Christmas game, I think the Nuggets are in great spot, but Steph, they remind me of the Nuggets almost, where it's like you can lose key pieces and you're not going to be a champion, but you're still going to be really freaking good in a regular season. And that's Steph, man. When he's there, anything's possible.
The Nuggets are going to dismantle the Warriors.
I hope you're right, because that would be fun for me. The Kings are up 51-42 to the Suns. You guys know who sucks?
The Suns?
The Phoenix Suns suck, man.
I agree, dude. They're
The
actually
Phoenix
not
Suns
good.
suck. They are not
Just
good.
straight up not good.
It's so weird that the things everybody said are going to happen have happened exactly.
might
They're
get
not going to
hurt.
be able to defend. They're relying on broken, brittle, and old players that aren't going to be able to stay on the court. They can't just... They don't know how to play together. They're not an actual team. Like,
Did we say this on the last show, or was it live, or was it just us talking where little bit of in the podium, KD, Booker, kind of jawing at each other? Have you seen this?
No.
A little KD the other day about, I'm not getting the ball where I'm supposed to be getting it. A little, if we could move the ball around a little bit more. Like,
He's not talking about Booker, though, because obviously you
Point
saw
Book,
that highlight
dude.
where Booker held the ball for 16 seconds and
dude,
then
that
shot
was
an
the
air ball.
funniest play ever, man. Did you see that play?
Of course.
Just
That
so
was
you know,
the funniest.
if any Nugget did that, by the way, including Jamal, we wouldn't talk positively about them for a month.
Dude, the Suns hate their team. Have you watched the PHNX? They hate their team now. It's
I've
actually
noticed that, actually.
quite hilarious.
I am sorry.
Why?
I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't think
I
you were.
just was trying to be.
All right, hit that outro music for us, Scale.
2
You
more.
can still hit the outro music. It's a long outro.
Siobhan, or Sheben, Kellen. Alex English was awesome to watch. Guaranteed bucket, rocking the rainbow unis, and leading the NBA in scoring for the 80s. Nuggets back in first in the West by the end of January.
You guys are both calling it by the end of January. I like it, man. I think this Timberwolves team is going to be really good. I think they're going to be really good.
You think it's really good?
Ken Patterson, English, and Kiki Vandeweghe finished 1 and 2 in scoring in the 1982 season, and Issel finished 12th.
Run and gun, baby. The passing game was in full display. I wasn't even born
That's
yet.
the thing. That is the point. Like, there have been actually very high peaks in this franchise's history, and Jokic is so far above all.
That's so true. And
It's
Jokic
wild.
in a class all his own. Nuggets get the win.
What a great show.
What a great little
Dude,
show.
what a treat. From here, Ray.
Do you guys feel the
literal
Christmas
treats.
spirit, man? Ray makes good cookies, dude.
Ray's the king of the chat, man.
I'm off tomorrow, so these fellas are going to be carrying it. So I won't see you until Christmas Day, but I look forward to that, man. So I'll say
You
I'll
look
wish
forward
it
to
early.
leaving your children before noon on
Getting
Christmas
away
Day.
from my family. You know what I'm saying? No, I actually am super
The
bummed
ball
about
and
that.
chain.
Very super
The old
bummed.
ball, my children.
I will say to everybody, because I know everybody goes and sees family this time of year and everything else, give yourself a chance this year. You know, honestly, like a little on the podium for a second. Bring good energy to whatever family events you have. Because honestly, you only get so much. I'm turning 40
Did my mother
this year.
talk to you?
No, I'm turning 40 this year, so I'm being that
pretty old,
introspective
dude.
where I'm like, I've always been the young one looking up, and now I'm right in the middle, both young below me and old
I
above.
would maybe say past the middle, but larger point stance.
Hey man, I think about that too all the time.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, that was a little dark.
My
Thank you
bad.
for that. But in
My
all
bad.
sincerity, guys, like, bring good energy to Christmas. I'm gonna miss you all. We'll see you on Christmas Day, and I just hope you guys all have a good one. Hit that like button for us on the way out. See you.
We all silly like the mayor.